At 5:37 and ask Titus Frenchman to lead us in a word of prayer.
We'll take a few minutes to speak to our Creator on behalf of us today. I ask each and every one of you to pray in your own way to do it. Kakitiko luwe, luendas. Tishilanea, Batu, Alambu Metiko Petisa, Damakila Menukwe, Ketamaxitan, Ahelansu, Alambu Metiko Petisa, Batu, Lapikapakwe, Unish. Amen.
Roll call.
Chief Chet Brooks.
Here.
Assistant Chief Bonnie Jo Griffith. Here. Secretary Nikki Michael. Here. Treasurer Benita Shea. Here. Member Annette Ketchum. Here. Member Nate Young.
Here.
Member Michelle Hawley.
Here.
We have a quorum.
I'd like to welcome all of our tribal members and guests and ask the council for a motion to amend the agenda.
Chief, I will make a motion to amend the agenda so that we can hear from Tammy McCowan, I'm sorry, Tammy, with Grand Gateway at this time so that she doesn't have to sit through the meeting. I see you.
I'll say it.
Motion been made and seconded to amend the agenda. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye. Rick Barnes, if you'd like to come introduce her. Judge Barnes, I'm sorry.
I just want to take a few minutes here and introduce, Tammy's been with Grand Gateway for a long time, 16 years, and I think if there's any questions that need to be asked, she can answer it on any kind of occasion. And she's worked with CDBGs, but mostly right now, she's working with economic development, which is what the tribe is looking to try to do.
Absolutely.
And she wants to try to help the tribe, and I'll leave that up to her to answer your questions.
Okay. Thank you, Rick.
Thank you, Judge Barnes. Thank you, Chief and Council, for entertaining me here tonight. I appreciate the invitation and I'm honored to be here. Can you hear me?
Tammy,
I apologize, sir.
That's better.
Okay.
You might just want to pull it down. There you go.
Okay. I said thank you so much for letting me be here this evening. I appreciate the invitation and I'm honored to be here. And on behalf of Grand Gateway, I just wanted to give you a one sentence. We're a 7-county regional organization that are member governments, voluntary organization, and we help implement grants and funding throughout the 7-county region with 53 communities, 7 counties, Port Catoosa, and several of our Native American tribes represented on our board. We also have rural water districts and sewer districts and school districts that are part of our organization. Services offered by Grand Gateway include community development services through CDBGs, Mr. Barnes mentioned. We have the Area Agency on Aging that works in tandem with the Title VI and Title IV senior nutrition programs. We have Rural Fire Program that works with all the volunteer fire departments. Pelivan Rural Transit, which helps jobs to work, and some health runs, I believe, in this region. Other types of programs in tribal transit in some of our other counties. We also have capital improvement planning as well as hazard mitigation planning. Those are programs that other directors throughout our organization can tell you much more about But if you'll allow me, I'd like to tell you about Economic Development Administration, which that is our cognizant federal agency, and your nation is an eligible entity to apply for that kind of funding. EDA is built on economic development and job creation. So if there are projects that you have that you'd like to have us look at, we'd be glad to come and help you build an envelope of funding for a project. Those grants are normally in the area of right at $1 million with a 50% match required. That doesn't mean we can use a lot of in-kind as match on those generally. So I do say generally because I want to make sure that we understand there are a lot of parameters to these grants, and I'm not promising any grant. It's all competitive, but I would be glad and honored to help you build the best package that we can do as an application for you. The other program that I work with is Economic Development Infrastructure Financing. That is a state government grant, and it's actually to build out public infrastructure to businesses that may wish to locate for your business development arm. These have to be eligible kinds of jobs. I'll give you the bad news first. They generally do not fund retail or some of the lower end paying jobs. They have to fund jobs that are a livable wage. And that's determined by 110% of your median income of your county. That's a month by month change. And I always check in with the state to make sure your jobs are eligible. That can provide for up to $500,000 worth of infrastructure. Now it has to be the public infrastructure side, but at least your business shouldn't want to expand here at your tribal headquarters, or you have some other property that you're trying to develop and you need a new water line or a new wastewater line. We can help you get that. We can help the city of Barnesville or the rural water district or whatever public entity get that to your business based on your job creation. The business, all their obligation is to report their job creation on a quarterly basis during the life of the grant. So that it's not a real hard process on their part. We do most of the paperwork for them. But I wanted to make sure that your council knew that we had the services available for you. And if you have any questions, that's what I'm here for.
Do you have a card?
I most certainly do. Do you mind?
Love it.
Would it be inappropriate to suggest that it looks like they may have a variety of programs that we could be interested in? That we maybe schedule some time, or if she could come back. Yeah.
What Nate's saying is would there be sometime you come back and meet with us for like an in-depth meeting?
I would very much appreciate that.
That way we can.
Yes, and we can discuss what projects you have on the table.
Right.
And what we can help the code develop. Yes, please. Thank you so much.
Tammy, we would like to thank you not only for coming tonight, but also for all of the help that Grand Gateway has gave our tribe over the years, actually. And we look forward to working.
We look forward to a motion.
Thank you.
And hopefully, Tammy, one of us will call you tomorrow, maybe Michelle will call you tomorrow and set up a meeting here.
Okay.
Okay, or we can come to your place. It's whatever's convenient for you.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
The cabin is not that fault question.
May I hear a motion to table the minutes from our last meeting?
I'll make
I'll second it.
The motion's been made and seconded to table the minutes of the last meeting. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Or abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Everybody got their financial report, I do believe, by email and in the packet. Are there any questions or motions about the financials?
I'd like to pass a motion that we approve the financials pending audit.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the financials pending audit. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Unfinished business, resolution 2015-21.
We tabled it so that we could do some research, and to my knowledge, I don't believe anybody has been able to follow up with that. It's the resolution in regard to telecommunications. So there still needs to be some research.
Okay.
So I'll make a motion to, again, table resolution 2015-21.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Travel policy.
I make a motion we table that tonight too, while it's still under construction.
I'll second that.
Motion's been made and seconded to table travel policy. Is there any discussion on the motion? And all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Is there any negative votes to table? Actually, you don't take a negative vote to table, do you? Sorry. Travel reports. Would Curtis Zuniga care to present? Travel reports.
Thank you, Chief and council members. You do have the full packet. So it's got all of the department reports, including mine. I've tried to summarize, the things that I've been working on here for the last couple of weeks. So it's in the report. Just real quickly, joined the chief going up and talking with the BIA about our trust applications for Caney and Leavenworth. Slow movement up there. Working with Gene on our Cherokee Nation Housing Audit and Annual Performance Review. And then we just got underway with the NAGPRA Oversight Committee. I've been working with Bryce, and I think we've effected a communications dynamic. The committee met today, so I think they are underway with their work. I'm real pleased to see that. Again, we'll continue to offer my support too, including some discussions about that culture camp. Assistant Chief Griffith made an introduction of a young man I think is a great candidate for one of the high schoolers that could attend that camp. He showed an interest too, by the way. I hope you have recognized that our dull floors are a little shinier now. We went ahead and after clearing of a Gene that we had the money to pay for it, we had a professional service come in over the weekend, strip put in 4 coats of wax and buffed it up and shined it up. I hope it gives us another 100,000 miles, but it brightened up the room a little bit. Just to let you know that the additional security cameras, I've got the guys coming in tomorrow. We're going to be putting 2 of them inside this building, so we'll be covering all of the doorways and inside and out. The mowing contracts are underway. They were all put out for bid, and I've got mowers for the Bartlesville campus, Caney and Lawrence. The Caney and Lawrence properties are handled by a Delaware tribal member. Please note that we have received donation of the 2 Chevy 12-passenger vans. And a little follow-up on the pond. Our tribal judge, Beverly Chafin, came to my office and she said her husband is willing to stock our pond out here from some of his farm ponds. However, there is a stipulation that fishing can only be under a catch and release policy. That's nice, but it's really difficult to manage and to control, to oversee. I'm still a little hesitant, but I welcome direction from the council. I don't know what to do about this, to be honest with you. There's some demand, not a lot of demand to make it into a fishing pond. And I do want to bring to the council's attention that with the construction of the child care building that's coming up, they're designing it for water runoff. I don't know what's in their plans if they need to deal with that pond over the summer or not. So I'd like to just kind of keep juggling this issue unless you all feel real strongly and give me some direction.
My thoughts would be, let's wait until the construction's over with and see what the drainage issues are as to catch and throw back. We do that on the Illinois River because of the contaminants. So I don't have a problem with that. You can always post it. But I think my personal opinion would be wait until the construction's over with.
I would agree with that.
I agree.
All right, thank you. Real quickly, I've got 3 personnel items in my report. Sasheen, in our Indian Child Welfare and Community Services Department, is in Portland, Oregon today. I've been texting with her on checking in on how she's doing with her Indian Child Welfare Program with the National Association. So that's good. Hey, I even got a phone call today regarding a Delaware adoption. So I said, let's email her up there in Portland and she could take the issue and get some guidance from the professionals up there. The tribal court has hired Laura Holden. She is a Martian and she has been working as a court clerk over at your neck of the woods, Langley. Okay, right. And so she's already begun working with Judge Randall on her duties and responsibilities. And then, of course, you know, for those that don't, Lacey Souza in our housing department has resigned to go to another job. Her resignation becomes effective May 6th, and if we wish her well, I think there'll be something around here to give her a fond farewell. Looking ahead, in the next several weeks, I do want to put out bid solicitation locally. I'd like to get rid of these 2 old Ford Windstar vans, and we've got 2 Hustler riding mowers in the maintenance shack. Time to move them out, but let's see how much money I can get just putting it out for a local bid. I am asking, and I did talk with Councilman Nate Young, I'm requesting a workshop with our enrollment department. We really need to draft amendments to the Enrollment Act having to do with disenrollment criteria and the procedures and the due process for those people that are put on the roll. Folks, I think we've got some issues coming up, and we need to get our codes and our ordinances and our laws strengthened so that we can address this.
I believe Councilman Ketchum was also.
Yeah, in my report I asked to get a workshop underway to work with Leslie, Chris, and I'd like to sit in on this. Nate's got the legal experience. Annette has been working with the enrollment department for a couple, 2-3 years now. If you all could assign them or appoint them to at least get a workshop underway, that way we've got something to bring back. Obviously, an amended Enrollment Act would require tribal council full approval. And then some great news. Again, I spoke with Nate about this today. When we have the Grant Steering Committee meeting on April 23rd, I'm going to be bringing in the application information for AmeriCorps. For those of you that maybe don't know about it, AmeriCorps is kind of like the Peace Corps, but it's here in the U.S. And we have the potential of submitting an application where we would be able to host a team of 6 to 8 people for a period of 8 to 10 weeks. I wrote 6 to 8, but I meant 8 to 10 weeks. Performing community services projects. I've already got my own wish list, heavy on Chelsea and the Boys and Girls Club, but we got some activities here that they could work on, and we could provide some housing in some of our vacant units for these people, although they have their own transportation. There's no cost to us, but if we can help facilitate some accommodations for them, if we could have an experienced crew of people do some work. We just passed the housing policy to help out people where we would do rehab for their privately owned homes. Hey, they could do some of that work. They will find the skill set to match our needs. So I'm going to get that underway. If the steering committee says that it looks good, we need to get something in by July. We could possibly have a team assigned to us as early as November, or wait till the spring.
Curtis, where is this founded for in the Peace Corps, or where is it?
AmeriCorps, I think they're in Virginia. Oh, I think I left it over on the table there. I think they're headquartered in Virginia, but it is a national program, government funded, and the people that work in this, they're like typically 18 to 28-year-old people. After they do their service, then they get money or credits toward college tuition.
So they've been coming in the summer. They've been coming in the summer.
Well, no, ma'am. There are 3 different times through the course of the year that they could send a team. The earliest would be November, and I think there's one in
February and May.
February and May. Yes, that's correct. A bit of good news. I hope it's good news. It has some great potential. I did get a phone call and an email from our consultants, Judge Charles Tripp and Marsha Harlan, regarding our child support enforcement implementation grant. They've been in touch with our program liaison in the Dallas office of tribal child support. I was told by our consultants that the tribe should be receiving a letter from the agency in the next 2 weeks announcing an award of the child support enforcement grant. So I'm sure we'll be awaiting anxiously, but I really feel that this news has great potential for the tribe, and if we get it, we need to hit the ground running quickly. And I've got a plan for that, but I look forward to guidance and direction from the council.
We're all real excited about that.
Absolutely.
We know it's coming, it's just getting it going again.
And they've been emailing me nonstop now for the last 3 or 4 days as if we're already.
Good.
So,
and then tomorrow morning I've got department head staff meeting at 9 o'clock. I'll brief them on all the outcome of this meeting and moving ahead. Any questions?
No, I just do we want a motion to appoint Nate and Annette to the enrollment workshop?
I don't know if you need a motion, but if it's appropriate, yeah,
Okay.
you guys will send some people. Let's get this thing off the ground.
Okay, I'll make a motion, we appoint Annette Ketchum and Nate Young to the enrollment workshop committee, or whatever you called it.
Yeah.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded to appoint Annette Ketchum and Nathan Young to the enrollment workshop committee. Is there,
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I'm sorry.
do I hear any discussion? I would like to ask a question before we proceed with the vote. I have heard some comments about we've got some illegally enrolled members, and my question is real simple. Are any of these illegally enrolled, or were any of these illegally enrolled members enrolled prior to 1982?
Sir, I'm going to choose my words carefully here. It is very likely that we may have uncovered individuals who were ineligible for enrollment, but may have been enrolled anyway. That's what I need this workshop for, to pull out all of the documentation, do a thorough analysis of what's been done, and pair that with the need to change or amend the Enrollment Act. As far as I know, though, none of the possible ineligible individuals were enrolled before 1982.
Thank you,
as far as I know.
Is there any further discussion on the motion?
Just a clarification, but they were before 2014, right?
That is correct.
Thank you.
Is there further discussion? If not, all in favor of the motion to appoint Annette Ketchum and Nathan Young to an enrollment committee, please say aye.
Aye.
I'm going to vote for myself.
Okay. By golly, you do.
And you can, since it involves no pay.
Chief, I have one other thing I wanted to bring to your attention, and I know we talked about it today, but I would like to get it on the record and get it out of the way. Annette, for your, Councilwoman Ketchum, for your concern, this has to do with the limited waiver of sovereign immunity on the copier contract. Right now, with this new contract, has us paying $1,500 a month for 60 months, so it's a 5-year contract. And we're going to be updating and upgrading all 4 of our copy machines. We have one in this building, social services, wellness, and up in Caney. So we're going to be upgrading and updating its capabilities. The length of the contract, however, and the total cost is actually going to be, where's Johnny?
Back against the wall. Behind you.
Help me out, Johnny. Is actually going to be less than what we've been paying for the last 3 years. So we're working closely with them. I cleared it with Gene. We're not out of compliance with any procurement, and we can afford to do this. It's in our best interest. The only thing that's hanging it up, closing the contract, is they've asked the tribe to sign a limited waiver of sovereign immunity. It's kind of a standard business practice. I would not make the recommendation to the council to go ahead and do it if I didn't believe it, but as Nate said, that really should be an action taken by the chief of the council.
I would say that we would agree to that and make it in the form of a motion.
A motion's been made to
Agree
for this council to agree to a limited waiver of sovereign immunity to the company that we will be contracting with. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Do you have that language in front of you?
I actually gave a copy
I know
of
you
it.
emailed it to me, but I don't have it.
Oh, you, okay.
I just want to be sure what I'm
Sure.
voting on. You know, limited could mean all kinds of things.
Basically, what it's saying is if we have a dispute in a contract, it'll be handled in the state courts as opposed to tribal court.
I'd like to ask a question. Will some of the monthly expense be defrayed by grants? If there is that part of the indirect? Let's see.
Indirect.
Not indirect, but the
Space costs?
space costs.
That is correct.
Okay,
Right.
so they cover that in the space, so really we have the money to do it. And it's less it was.
Right, we look at every possible way to make sure those grants, indirectly or directly, help pay for the cost of the machines that support their functions.
And what company would that be?
They're called RICO, R-I-C-O-H. They are a national company.
We used them in the past.
Yes, ma'am.
I can, what has happened in the past is companies have been left high and dry, and then they've run into this. It's very common now for vendors who deal in large quantities to want something like this, and a lot of tribes just agree to sign an arbitration agreement which pursuant to the Supreme Court is a limited waiver. The main thing is RICO is ahead of the game, and I don't see any problem. We're going to have to do it with other vendors in the future.
It is an atypical experience. I will say this: I can't think of in the last couple of years ever having been presented like this on a business contract. But it is kind of it's up at a threshold of money that's what they presented to us in order to close the deal.
How much is the total of the contract, counting the 5 years?
$89,119 total.
My only issue is going to state court. If there's a possibility that we can do it in travel court, I'm always going to say that. And so for a 5-year contract, like, you know, that puts us in state court a long time, and we could be developing our travel court. That's all I was thinking about.
Hey, I'm with you there too. I mean, I used to sit at the table with you all. I'm just as sensitive toward a waiver of sovereign immunity. As long as we manage this contract right, on our side, there shouldn't be anything. Now, on their side, I don't know, but this isn't a fly-by-night company, and our experience has been good. So it's a tough call. I do make the recommendation from my standpoint, however, that we go ahead and do this.
Okay, and again, if I vote for it, I mean, I don't want it to be a standard practice. So just
I think it's case by case.
yeah.
It'd have to be case.
It
Some companies
would
won't
have
ask.
to be case by case anyway, although I will say, we're not gonna get $89,000 worth of anything without a limited waiver of sovereign immunity.
Yeah, it's creeping into the Indian business world more and more. They just don't want you to claim sovereign immunity if they want to sue you for any wrongdoing, even if it's our fault, you know. So it's a tough call. I appreciate the council's consideration.
So Curtis, if they defaulted,
We can sue them.
that's right. It works both ways.
But we would have to go to state court
We
to
have
do
to go
it.
to state court to do it, but that would not be, I mean, we'd still have the copy machines here probably, if they
Yes,
went out
ma'am.
of business.
That's correct.
Nancy Sumter.
On this 60-month contract, you say they would upkeep, upgrade, and maintain the machines for all of them that we use. Is that an upgrade of every time they make a new machine? Do we get that machine as far as an upgrade, or do they just bring parts in and add them to the ones we already got?
Johnny, can you help me out? Basically, what we're going to do is we're going to switch out the machines that we have. Now, what happens over the next 5 years? Johnny, you want to?
Basically, what we're going to get is 4 new copier machines that are current product as of today. And then what we will do, they will pay for it, or they will be responsible for the upkeep to maintain the productivity and the maintenance of the equipment as well. And if there is software to be downloaded, they will apply those patches as needed. That's part of the maintenance agreement that comes along with this contract. So it's like buying a car, get a warranty on it for 5 years. So I don't know if that answers the question.
Curtis, do you know how RICO ranks with all, you know, there's I guess, 3, what's the name of some of those copy companies?
Yes, ma'am. We originally put this out for sealed bid 3 years ago. And they came out clearly on top. We've been pleased with their performance in the past 3 years. And again, I cleared this with our CFO and with our IT guy first. So this is kind of where we are.
Thank you.
Do I hear any further questions or discussion?
I move that we accept it. Accept the comments. I mean, I make that motion.
Call the question.
What?
It's already been made.
I didn't write it down.
The motion has been made and seconded to give a limited waiver of sovereign immunity. If all in favor of the question, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed or abstentions? Motion carried unanimously.
Thank you, Chief and Council. Did you have anything else for me?
Does any council member have a question of Curtis?
So you thought Dakota Hunt was a very good candidate for the
Yes, and
campus?
I've already sent him that culture camp information.
Okay, very good.
We're communicating via email, so.
Okay, yeah, he seemed like a real sharp 17-year-old.
Yes, ma'am, absolutely.
On the grant steering committee, Thursday morning,
Yes, sir.
I have to go to a track meet for one of my grandchildren. So we'll maybe do it by telephone later in the day or something.
So we need to, are you asking to change the time?
Yes,
Okay.
to the afternoon.
We're scheduled for 1 o'clock on Thursday.
Oh, I thought it was at 10:30, I'm sorry.
Right, it's 1 o'clock on,
Yeah, I believe it is
1 o'clock on Thursday.
I can be finished for 1.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Curtis. Will the secretary please read resolution 2015-22?
A resolution of the Tribal Council of the Delaware Tribe of Indians to approve tribal membership. Now therefore it be resolved, the Delaware Tribal Council of the Delaware Tribe of Indians does hereby authorize and approve the persons whose names correspond with the above numbers, which is 058458 through 058476.
I'll make that motion.
I'd second it.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the new membership list. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Can the Secretary, Nikki Michael, please read Resolution 2015-23?
A resolution of the Tribal Council of the Delaware Tribe of Indians to authorize contribution of funds to Top 2 LLC. The Delaware Tribe, well, we're on the fourth whereas, the Delaware Tribal Council, as a sole member of the LLC, on behalf of the Delaware Tribe of Indians, desires to invest $10,000 as a capital contribution to Top 2 to assist the growth of the company. Now therefore be it resolved, the Delaware Tribal Council for the Delaware Tribe of Indians does hereby agree to transfer $10,000 from the Delaware Tribe Financial Services LLC to Tahoe E2 LLC.
I'll make that motion.
I'd second it.
The resolution has been made and seconded to approve Resolution 23. All in favor, please say
I want to
aye.
ask a question before we vote on it.
Okay.
Discussion. Does the Delaware Tribe Financial Service have that money in their account?
Yes.
They had enough money to cover that?
They have actually got more than twice that much money.
I couldn't remember. I knew they had, I read it once, but I didn't remember how much.
Is- Nancy?
On this $10,000 you're gonna transfer, Is this gonna be a one-time thing, or is it gonna be like, the other company and keep drawing down and keep spending, and until we go in the hole again? I want something like an oversight committee to make sure that it stays in the company, do what it's supposed to do. I don't mind starting, I know you guys need seed money to keep it going. But is it gonna be a one-time drawdown, or are you gonna keep adding to it?
Well, Nancy, actually, this is the second. We had 10,000 to start up, a 10,000 startup, and this is just the second one, so it would be.
Well, I missed two meetings, the reason I say I missed out on a lot of stuff I know.
Yeah.
But what I understand here, I thought it was the first time drawdown, but since it's that, so we've invested $20,000, is that right?
Yes.
In this company?
This will make it 20.
This will make it
Are
20.
we gonna keep drawing down to put into the company?
I can't give you an answer on that. I can tell you as to the oversight issue, we have a treasurer who keeps accurate track of the money that we expend. And I don't anticipate that we'll need another drawdown. However, we do have, we have the contract at Guam.
We do have that contract.
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah, that's actually.
For sure, it's been executed.
There's already an employee working on the contract, and will be a second one shortly.
The only thing I can anticipate, Dude or Nancy, is that if for some reason there's some kind of bump in the road, then we're really going to look very, very hard at any future transfers.
Well, I will be too. I just want to make sure that $20,000 to start business up, I know it's not really that much.
No.
But we don't have that much.
Well, this is not coming out of our general fund.
I
understand.
I know that it is from
Yeah.
a financial deal, but what I'm saying is, I want more of a,
You want oversight.
yes, oversight on the money that's spent. Where's it going? How much is the wages? How much is directors paid? How much, where is this money going to? That's what I want to know. I want an eye kept on that.
I think our treasurer,
I'm doing that.
Oh, okay. That's all I have to say. I just want to make sure that we don't keep drawing down
No,
the money after bad money.
And we want you asking.
I'll be happy.
I know you will.
Thank you.
feel comfortable, call the treasurer any hour of the night or day.
Unfortunately, the treasurer missed that remark.
That's fine.
Feel comfortable to stand up and raise Cain if we have to make multiple drawdowns. And I'll assure you that I will be too.
Okay, thank you.
Call for question.
Question's been called. All in favor of the resolution, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution carries unanimously. We have an artist certification attached to the agenda. Would Secretary Michael please read the certification?
This letter of certification is hereby issued to Christopher Sears, an enrolled member of the Delaware Tribe of Indians, who we now declare a certified tribal artisan in compliance with the Indian Arts and Crafts Act of 1990. This certification was approved at a duly called meeting of the Delaware Tribal Council on the 21st day of April 2015. And then we see images of his artwork.
But there's no, have we checked his enrollment?
Chris, he's an enrolled member.
Yes.
Okay, and you
Yes.
verified that?
Yes.
Okay.
Is there any discussion?
I'll make a motion, we approve it.
Motion been made to approve. Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
Is there any discussion? If there is no discussion, I yield. Seek all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries unanimously.
There's a personnel issue.
To create the new position.
I would ask Councilwoman Benita Shea to present the Personnel Committee's recommendation on a permanent part-time position for janitorial services.
Yes, the Personnel Committee has come forth and recommended that we create
Switch with somebody.
that we create a new position for a permanent part-time for the janitorial services. We do not, oh my gosh. We currently do not have this position, so this would be new. And actually, we have someone actually working in that position and just put him in, take him out of the great gateway into the Delaware tribal employee realm of the world. So just, want to put that motion out there that we go ahead and create this new position. It is Josephine Littleson. It will be a part-time position, so there won't be any, she won't be eligible for benefits, and the hours will be monitored.
She will not work in the lunchroom room?
Yeah, she will work in the.
Oh, okay.
I believe so. Curtis, can you?
May I approach Chief and
Yes.
add to the conversation here? And Alan, I need you to listen in on this, please.
Thank you. First of all, this request is for the creation of the position, not to put Josephine on the payroll. Because if she left tomorrow, we still need this position. This is after DFMS left, and then after DNP, or whatever their subcontractor was doing the janitorial, and they left. I needed somebody to do the work, so I just hired Josephine to do some extra hours on top of her job in the kitchen. Now, after talking with Jean, she said, Curtis, we really can't be doing contract labor like this because she's not a classic contractor in the business world. She doesn't put her services out there and work for other people and the like. So the other option is to create a employment position. Personnel policies require that the tribal council approve an employment position in our staff structure. So that's what this motion is about, but I do intend, when that happens, to have Josephine graduate out of the Grand Gateway Senior Employment Program go directly to this because she's been doing a super job. And that will require Alan, however, to go back to the well and get someone else to come and help out in the kitchen. So we've got a little transition period. I don't plan on actually putting her on the books until right after the 1st of May when this other time payroll period ends. That's my strategy. I just need the council to approve this position. We can afford it. It's, in my opinion, as your tribal manager, it's the right thing to do. I presented it to the personnel committee. They agreed.
Is this is coming out of the Title VI grant, or is this tribal?
No, this will be coming out of space costs.
Okay.
She's a tribal employee. She'll be a tribal employee.
That is correct. And the fact that we were not advertising for this, we've done this before, where we've had someone graduate out of the Grand Gateway program and go directly into employment. That's the whole purpose of this program anyway.
Right, and I think anytime we can move somebody in-house into a different job, or better job, we should do it.
And it is. She wants it too, so.
I'll make the motion, we approve the creation of the permanent part-time position for janitorial services.
I'll second it.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the permanent part-time position as a tribal employee of janitorial services.
Nancy's got her.
Nancy.
You probably disapprove what I'm fixing to say, but you guys have been using David Frenchman for janitorial for years. You hire him on, and you fire him at Christmas time, before Christmas. You lay him off, you hire him back. You lay him off, you hire him back. I think he should have deserved that job, since he has, I know he's working with Josephine right now as a helper, but I think he deserved that job a lot better. He's got more of a family to feed. He's got kids.
Right, and Nancy, he was let go by DFMS.
I understand that, but he also worked here.
Right, and he still does. He's working for us now.
As permanent?
No.
I don't know his status.
Temporary.
Temporary part-time.
Part-time temporary?
I don't know.
Would
his
Josephine be part-time temporary or permanent?
Part-time temporary.
Okay, but the motion is
The
only for the
thing
position.
that I was just a little upset about was the way that David's been treated. He's been let go before Christmas when he got tired, he needed to feed his kids and stuff, and he's let go. I don't like the way that was done the last time, this last year. I just want to say, put my 2 cents in, and I love Josephine, I do. But he's got kids to feed and he needs a permanent job.
Right,
And
and
he's good. Now this floor here, it could have been done by David over the weekend because he's done it, I don't know how many times before.
okay, but this is not to hire Josephine. This motion is just to create this position.
I understand that, but I'm just, like I said, I'm putting my 2 cents
Okay.
in that David needs consideration too.
And I'm sure the personnel committee will listen.
No, they won't.
Well,
I don't know why you say that.
well, they can listen. They may not agree. So,
We're listening right now.
Yeah, you got several, you got the 2 of us, or 3 of us on the
Three of
personnel
us
committee,
right
and
now.
we listen. We don't, we listen.
keep drinking that tea, girl.
Okay, that's it. I'll put my recommendation in.
Call for question.
The question's been called. All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you, council.
Thank you, Curtis.
Do I hear any further
Yeah.
business?
Yeah.
Nancy?
Oh, yeah.
I know.
Here it comes Titus, come on. Oh, okay, Nancy's
Get
coming.
ready for it.
You recognize me, bring in.
I'm coming up to the mic and I don't do that often.
There you go.
No, this is, this is a statement from Susan and the Veterans Committee that they wanted, I can talk without that, they can hear my voice. She wanted me this read into the minutes, and it states, Dear Delaware Tribal Chief Chet Brooks and council members, the Veterans Committee has voted unanimously to write a letter of support on the issue of utilizing the pond located at tribal property for recreational purposes for the Delaware tribal members only. Your fishing tournaments are an example of many uses. They offer kids the opportunity to spend time with their friends and families in a safe and controlled area. It may be the turning point in a young life and will provide an ideal avenue to providing these children and families with many wonderful memories. It's a small investment that our tribe can make in an encouraging time spent with our Delaware children and all the important family and extended family units. Families are the cornerstone of our Native American culture. The rewards are endless and take so little effort. The Delaware Veterans Committee encourages each of you to consider taking the small steps in making this possible by establishing an ad hoc committee on this important issue. Sincerely, Delaware Tribe of Indians Veterans Committee Chairman Kenny Brown. I read it. There you go.
Thank you.
And I think we pretty well answered it, haven't we? That we're not opposed.
Well, yeah, she just wanted me to read it in
Okay.
to the minutes that they're behind, then they support it.
Yeah, right.
It just may not happen for a while, Nancy, until the construction's done.
One of the things too, I believe that the Chafin family, the restriction on throwing them back may not last forever, just till the fish get big enough to, I think it's 10 inches is what the measurement is, at least over Grand Lake. You have to be at least 10 inches long before you have to throw them back. And you're on your honor to throw them back, you know. And I agree, it should be for the Delaware families. And a Delaware family donates the fish, we can do that. If we take the fish from the National Fishing somebody people, then it has to be for the whole town. And so I support that. What you said.
Titus Frenchman.
Short and sweet.
No, not you.
Too short, isn't it, this week?
3 things, real quickly. Number 1, yes, the NAGPRA Oversight Committee did meet today. We selected our officers. I am now the chairperson of the Oversight Committee. And one of the things we wanted to do is find out, in regard to Section 106 of the NAGPRA program that was instituted in 1990, Section 106 came about in 1996. This deals with the tribe's ability to set pricing, to issue statements in regard to new development, land turning, and that type of thing for any commercial organizations or whatever that's going to be doing building. So the issue came up. Of the 3 tribes, we have the Stockbridge Munsee up north, we have Anadarko, Delaware down south, and we are in the center. We all share the same land historically, more or less. And the issue came up, how much are we charging? How can we maximize our gift to us as tribes practicing our own sovereignty? I talked today after the meeting, I called Stockbridge Munsee and spoke with Sherry White. She's in charge up there, and she said she's currently getting ready to go before her council to ask to charge $400 per consultation, or whatever you call it. They're currently at $300 per issue. So that's what their level is right now. Their jurisdiction, what they deal mainly with, is New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, more on the eastern seaboard. I talked to the Anadarko. Anadarko people today, I talked to the Assistant Director, Corey, and he indicated that their jurisdiction, or what they deal with primarily on a month-to-month basis, where they get all their inquiries, is from around New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, around that region, and touching somewhat on New Jersey and Pennsylvania. However, they charge for basic construction or whatever, $500 per issue. And on new construction, $1,000 to the tribe. So they are maximizing their position, their ability to work, use this program for their benefit. Now, currently, our tribe, as far as I understand, is $200. So
That was raised.
I think it was, I thought it was 3 or 4.
oh, okay, I don't know, that's what I'm trying to track this
He
down.
wants to raise it to 5.
But I got those two organizations, I have to contact Bryce and see exactly where we're at. If anybody knows, I know the Stockbridge Muncie, they consult their council in regard to their cultural preservation tax outlook or programs. Does anybody here know?
I want to say it was raised to 300, but it hasn't been under us. I know we requested that through the last administration, and I believe they did, to 300, but it hasn't been raised since then.
Okay, I haven't talked with Bryce yet. I'll have to call him tomorrow and find out for sure.
His suggestion is that tribal council change it to,
Bryce's suggestion in his report to the tribal council this month is that we change it from, he doesn't say from what to what, possibly, do you know what it was? It used to be to some, it was, might have been 3, and he's suggesting 5, and he wanted the council to, he said, I would like to ask the council's approval and or suggested modifications before moving forward on the change. So, and he's expecting to have quite a few more, a lot of business coming in too.
Good, good.
Yeah.
Business-wise, Stockbridge Muncie said they are swamped with work up there. Sherry, who's been in that position now for 16 years, said she's gosh darn tired and she's looking forward to retirement. But they have been on an ongoing basis of working requests. Oh golly, they said they're pulling something over $2,000 a month on some basic bare bones issues up there. So they've got a lot of work to do in that area. And they are actually sending a representative, they have a representative set up in New York, outside of the tribe, who handles to work some of that area to help lighten the load, because she's done this all herself after all these years.
Titus, if
Yes.
I might add also, he has the current pipeline projects coming out of Emporia. He's adding pipelines to all of our other stuff out of Emporia, and then also current pipeline projects coming out of Temple. That's in Pennsylvania, I believe.
Okay.
And it is growing. It's growing. There's federal regulations. I think he mentioned someplace in his report that FERC is requiring companies to get consultation responses from tribes, but it now appears that their policy or focus may be changing in the past, and thus we are getting more companies that want to review and will pay for them. So I'll get you a copy of this, Titus.
Speaking of pipeline, I should have mentioned it today, but we actually stopped a pipeline through one of our traditional areas last month in Pennsylvania, so I need to get with you on that.
Yeah.
And that's all because somebody started asking questions.
Yeah, I know that Brad Keeler wrote to Dee. He's with the NAIA, and he wrote to Dee a couple months ago and mentioned to him about some of this pipeline stuff. And so Dee sent it to Bryce, and Bryce said, "Oh, thank you," because it's hard for him to always find out what's going on. It's not just publicized, but it's published in papers back east. So we've asked Brad Keeler to keep his eye on that in case something else comes down. And it's similar to what it was not the same thing, but it was similar.
Right, but by law, those companies are supposed to be contacting us and consulting with us near any one of our areas. And so it's incumbent upon us to make sure that we're advertising the fact that we are the ones to consult with. Nobody back east, but the Delaware Nation, the Delaware Tribe, and the Muncies.
It's hard to do it with all these groups that call themselves Delaware. I'm sure, I don't know if they have historic preservation set up. Have you ever heard?
That's what the problem is.
That's the problem.
That's where they're claiming that they're the rightful people to consult with.
But we're federally recognized.
And they're not. But they get away with it. They get away with murder in lots of areas. I don't mean literally.
Titus, what do you need from us to raise it to 500?
Basically, a statement of some sort to Bryce, since Bryce has been the only one that's been the oversight person for our NAGPRA program since inception. He's been out there dangling, twisting in the wind by himself, while the other tribes have had input from the council to direct and do some research in this area. So he's fended pretty well for himself. He's really helped the tribe tremendously. And we need to lend support. I'm glad that we are developing an oversight committee to help him in that way. Now, one of the things I also talked to the two different groups, Stockbridge, Muncie, and the Anadarko, is that we get together and come to some kind of consensus that we can work together and set a price level, so we're not actually undercutting each other, but working in harmony and togetherness. Anyway, but I'm setting up a conference call with the two groups next week, and I'd like to have Bryce come and sit in on that, to be part of it, since he has basically been doing this whole program. But they're very familiar with Bryce. They know what he's doing, who he is. They all work together somewhat. But the communication has not been that strong between the three groups. And I want to strengthen that, bring it together so we do have an organization. So if pipeline people come through up back east and want to build a pipeline for the oil or whatever said, well, we can also talk about that amongst the group, whose jurisdiction or whatever.
I wanted to ask the question, does the federal regs, and you might want to research this, actually say or exclude the wannabe groups, or do they, they say they're tribes, and if the regs don't specifically say federally recognized tribes, then they get in there, just like Nikki was saying, on grants and all kinds of things that they do.
I think it was executive order that brought about the consultation.
Originally established 1990, 1996, Section 106 came about for tribes in particular, and that's been amended. I have not read the amendments yet. I'm just familiar with the basic language, but it's only been, what, 3 hours now since I was on the
You've done really well, Titus.
Give me 2 more hours, I'll have it. Good God.
It's simple. It's
So,
just
I guess what you're asking, what you're recommending is we
what I want to do,
raise it to 500?
yeah, if you can give that ballpark figure right now, 500, as a baseline, I can use that to relate to the other groups as to what we're doing.
Okay.
Because when I told them we were doing 200, what I last knew of, they were shocked. They said, my God, you're shorting yourself.
But the new construction is 1,000.
Now, I like that.
Anadarko, yes.
500 for a consultation, and then 1,000 for new construction.
Do you want to put that in the form of a motion?
I would.
I would just say that Sherry, with the Stockbridge Muncie, was just raising theirs to 4 now, and she said she'd feel uncomfortable going for 1,000 for new construction. But that's her. That's her organization. And she's been doing this for years, and they've been quite successful at it with their New York representative on station.
Well, if I may, again, Delaware Nation makes over $4 million a year in their Section 106 programming. They fund 7 positions, cultural preservation, they have monthly cultural programming, and they make more than they're gaining. So in my opinion, I think they have a great model.
Okay, so
I'd like to see how they do theirs.
Right.
I really
You
would.
need to go down there. I will second Councilman Young's motion.
Okay, the motion is 500 and 1,000.
The motion has been made and seconded to approve $500 for consultations and $1,000 for new construction. Is there any further discussion? Curtis.
I just wanted to note for the record, because I am Bryce's supervisor, that Bryce has not just been flapping in the wind without any direction from this tribal council. He comes here every year for the general council meeting, sets up in a booth over there, and he is available to council members and or tribal members for any guidance, support, direction, input, opinions, whatever. This particular Oversight Committee was revived because John Sumter came forward and said, we used to have a committee, and then it kind of quit operating. And so I'm very pleased. I've offered my support and have provided support for this committee to get back up and running, and had a great meeting today. I do support this, the action that the tribal, I believe, is about to take. But I also want to clarify one item. We are not undercutting any tribe with the fees that we charge. It's not competitive. We're not preventing Delaware Nation from collecting their funds. We're not preventing Stockbridge Muncie from collecting their funds. So it is not price competitive for your consideration. But I do believe it's time, based on the recommendation of our own Historic Preservation Officer, to go ahead and raise those fees to be somewhat level and consistent with the other tribes. So I just wanted to clarify a couple of points for your consideration. Have that on the record.
Call for the question.
Question been called. All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Titus? For a committee that just met 4 hours ago, I'd like to congratulate you.
It's very timely to come on Tuesday night. Have it on Tuesday.
And
Good suggestion.
I guess you had some more.
Yes, 2 other things. Number 2, has the council yet offered invitation to the gentleman in the Kansas deal to come forward and speak? Did he catch him?
No.
This council
That was like, I
has
made that
made,
request last meeting. I just wonder if it's followed up on, yes or no.
not to do such, since they've already got the report, the written report.
And some of us feel like he's a tribal member. He shouldn't need to be invited. If he has something he thinks is worth sharing with us, he should just come here. I mean, that's kind of arrogant to think you need to be invited.
Thank you. Item 3. Now, I did some research on this, and I've been doing research on this for some time. This is in regard to the mascot issue, the symbolism being used by professional, non-professional, universities, high schools, commercial, on using Native American caricatures. It doesn't specifically boil down to Washington Redskins, but that's what kicked this whole thing off. Dealing with psychological issues, a lot of people don't understand what's behind this. The American Psychological Association, over 120,000 members through universities, counselors, teachers, have arrived at the same conclusion. Negative visuals of any race or group causes distress and issues in the children growing up seeing these symbols. I had a very good class at the University of California at Davis where I graduated. We studied semiotics, the study of symbolism in an image. We had a photograph showed to us of a gentleman in a beautiful blue suit, shiny brass buttons, dark complexion, from Ethiopia. He has white, just gleaming, white collars and everything, standing by this fort, and a French flag flying above. We were asked to give our opinion. Everybody said, well, this guy's looking good, he's doing good, proud of him. Reality was, this gentleman was being used by the government to police his own people, and he was being used as a tool. And this was conveyed to the people, the children of that country. This is how you go. The only way you've got to go is to be a tool of the people. Symbolism, again, this has been used. We studied this back in 1975 when I was majoring in applied behavioral science, majored in Native American studies, and we looked at this issue. Racism is used by imagery, it's used by subliminal advertising. When you raise people looking at themselves as school children, they grow up thinking that they can only exist as to what the outside group thinks of them. They are limited in their own expression by their peers. Their peers downgrade them because the tribes or whoever allow themselves to be downgraded through these images. This is in the mind of the child. For those of you who have children, I'm sure you've experienced this or seen this at times in today's society, institutions, education systems. There's a good term that used many years ago. It's called institutional racism, where these concepts and ideas are accepted as everyday practice, like what are you griping about, what's the problem? It's institutionalized to the point where people accept it, and it's not accepted. There is a letter written by 50 senators of the United States Congress last year to the National Basketball Association director, whatever, applauding him for not allowing racism to continue in the National Basketball Association sports arena. When he called the Clippers owners, made some derogatory remarks about the black players. Now, they went further and they're pleading with the National Football leader to do the same thing, to not allow these racism attitudes existing. 50 United States senators signed this. They had a very good statement at the end of that little letter they wrote. They said this is a matter of tribal sovereignty. And Indian country has spoken clearly on this issue. To this point, we have heard from every national tribal organization in the United States, including the National Congress of American Indians, the United South and Eastern Tribes, affiliated tribes of the Northwest Indians, and these organizations represent over 300 tribes, over 200,000 Native people. And this goes on and on. But this is the last paragraph of that letter that they sent. And they are encouraging, in fact, they're asking that the tribes do stand up as a matter of tribal sovereignty and make a statement, pass a resolution for or against, just to show solidarity with other tribes and to stand up and say we're not going to accept racism anymore. I've been involved in activism for quite a while. Back when the farm workers and the Teamsters Union were fighting in California, I went to the Capitol building one day. They had 100 Teamster Union big blue flags on one side of the Capitol. They had the black and red, see the red with the black eagle of the farm workers, all facing each other. A group of us, young radicals from the university, took a drum and walked right up between the two groups facing each other, and we broke out a war dance song. All heck broke out. They charged each other. We were right in the middle. The farm workers grabbed us and took us up into the Capitol building to the rotunda. They formed a circle around us. But activism, it takes somebody a little strength to stand up in the face of that. So I'm asking you, I'm not doing anything personal. I'm just asking that you come forward and do what you would think is right. A resolution for or against. Again, solidarity, 200 million. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Thomas.
Will we adjourn?
Motion been. Anna?
May I approach? May I approach?
Sure.
Yes.
I was wondering about what the ration situation is. I know for the past few years we've been doing rations for the powwow grounds. Is the new council going to be doing rations?
On the rations, we went back and looked and we can't find where there were rations bought last year. I think Jean's looked back through the financials and can't find where those were purchased.
I did those rations for 4 years.
Okay. So it wasn't the tribe, Anna, that did that. It was your grandmother.
Okay. And I just want to make a statement about the Redskins. I know Titus was talking about racism against children as well. I have held my tribe proud. Everybody knows that I'm a Delaware in my school. They all know that I'm Delaware. they've asked me questions about it. I think it's the way that parents present it to them. My mom always presented it to me to be proud of it. My peers have never looked down on me about it. They've never judged me about it. I think it's a good thing that people know that we're Delaware. It's not a bad thing. And then as well as for the mascot, I think it's a positive thing. We used to call ourselves the Redskins. It identified us from the white men. I think a lot of people would be proud to be called, we called ourselves the Redskins. I don't think it'd be an insult for another person to call us the Redskins. An NFL team is a very high and mighty thing. For them to call it themselves the Redskins, I think that'd be an honor.
Thank you.
You're a very articulate young lady.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Did I hear a motion to adjourn?
You did, sir.
I'll second that motion.
Motion's been made and seconded. We're adjourned. You don't have to vote on it unless there's an objection.
I object.
Okay.
Because I think we need to have a special meeting. We had some resolutions that we didn't get finished with this week. And so I would like to see us have a special meeting Monday evening at 5:30 right here, just to address resolutions. No minutes, no financials, just these resolutions. 5:30, and I'll make,
We're all going to be here at 11 anyway.
right, we've got the strategic planning, so I think, Chet, you can just call that. And
Does any council member have a problem with that?
No.
That,
Jen said she might get
I won't
out
be
of
here,
town.
I'll be out of town, but that's fine, because I understand what the resolutions are, and I'm in agreement with them.
Thank you.
Then,
Let's do it, the special meeting by consent,
right,
5:30.
next month.
Since it's a special meeting, I'm not going to be counted
No,
as.
you would not, it's not a regular meeting.
No, I won't be in
and
town.
And you cannot be counted.
Right, that's what that was the way it used to be. I didn't know if it still was.
Now we can adjourn.
Are we adjourned?
Yes.
Once there's 2 or 3 people.
Meeting's adjourned.